Welcome to the channel. We're up in Big Bear, and I've never done a video showing kind of the stuff that we bring every time we go off-roading. And a lot of the off-roading we do is up in the mountains, either in Big Bear or Mammoth. So let me just kind of show you the stuff that we bring. I'll start out, it's not in any particular order, but I will start out with some of the safety stuff. One of the things that I use is an inReach from Garmin. And I don't want to call it a satellite phone because you don't have audio, but you do have text and email abilities. And you have an SOS button that will send the longitude and latitude of where you're at. Obviously, you don't want to use that button unless you're in really serious trouble. You could get charged for the rescue. But you're able to program in here standard email or text messages that you want to send to your friends saying, I've arrived, I'm leaving. So when you're in places that you don't have any cell service, you can send the text or email letting people know that you're there or you're leaving or whatever the situation is. Then you can also just email people or text people. You get a certain number of free emails and texts a month. Don't remember how many that is, but the service is $13. I think it's $12.99 a month. So the next thing is just any kind of basic first aid kit. We have another one that we keep in the Jeep all the time, and this is one that I bring with us when we go off-roading, and it's totally basic, just so you have something to do some bandages, you know, if you have a burn or whatever it is.
Oh. Dog bite.
Not too tight, no tighter than that. You'll like lose circulation. That's good.
Okay.
So this is a really basic kit, and there's all kinds of kits out there available at different price ranges. Vicki, if you could come in here, we do carry a fire extinguisher. This one, the straps that strap it onto the roll bar is Badass Moto Gear is the name of the strap. But we always keep a fire extinguisher on board. So now let's talk about some of the recovery gear. I have a Warn kit.
Not gonna be too heavy for that?
No, it should be good. So I have a Warn kit for my recovery gear, and it comes with a dampening blanket, and if you have a cable, you're supposed to put this over the cable, so if the cable were to snap, that it would dampen the snap and not injure someone, hopefully. My kit also came with, I think it's 30 feet of strap, and it also came with a tree saver strap, which I think is 8 feet long. There are a couple of D-rings, 2 D-rings, and 1 tow hook. Also have the controllers in here. One of the controllers is for Smitty built, the X2O that's on this Wrangler, and the other controller is a Warn for the Warn winch that's on my CJ7. So I've not really used these straps. I've only used the winch when, and I have a video posted on this, when we went to Mammoth and we went to try to go to Bodie Ghost Town. And there were some SUVs that were stuck on the road back there, and I used my winch, but I didn't have to use the straps.
Getting the winch together.
But one of the G-Wagons actually did use a strap to pull out a BMW SUV, and they borrowed my D-rings and my hook. Yeah, go. Okay, I bring a lot of tools. I'm not even going to put this on the table. It's a lot of weight. And I actually need to get a bigger bag for the tools because I filled it up with too much stuff. But you know, just the basic stuff, sockets and screwdrivers, all kinds of stuff, hammers and every tool you can think of, really. Basic toolkit. I do bring a couple of power tools, battery operated power tools, and one is a socket wrench. I can use it to remove lug nuts or any bolts on the Jeep. And I also have a battery operated screwdriver, and it's basically just here because it's in the case with the other one. I don't know why I would need this, but now we have the bag with all my stuff for airing up and airing down. I have a ARB air compressor, and I'll put a photo of that up on the screen. And so I have an ARB pressure gauge, ARB deflator to remove the valve stem so you can air down. And I have a hose for inflating the tires. And I actually have another deflator by Grit. And I think this was a present from you, Vicki, and I didn't realize I had it. So we're going to start carrying this with us too. That way both of us can be deflating the tires and get it done a lot faster. But these are, you really need to have these to air down. It makes it a lot faster. So that is the stuff that I use for airing up and airing down. All right, so we also bring with us a ham radio. This is Baofeng, B-A-O-F-E-N-G. I may be pronouncing that incorrectly. It's pretty inexpensive, around 70 bucks. And both of the Jeep clubs that we go off-roading with, they use ham radios instead of CBs. So we keep this on so we can hear the trail leader when the trail leader is giving us instructions. I don't think we've ever spoken into it, all the runs that we've done with the different clubs that use them, but we do use it to listen in terms of anything that they're telling us in terms of turns or what have you. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do a lot of stuff up in the mountains, and you never know what's going to happen in the mountains. We've gone up in the mountains where they've closed the roads, and you're sitting there for a couple of hours waiting for the CHP to reopen the road while it's snowing in whiteout conditions. So we always bring sleeping bags with us, and these are rated for 5 degrees, and these are called Teton sleeping bags. So, you know, just in case something happens where you're out somewhere where it's really cold, if you get stuck and you have to be there overnight or whatever the situation is, you'll have a sleeping bag. You're not going to freeze to death. Also bring with us this Genius Boost, and you know, there's all kinds of manufacturers of different vehicle starters. This thing is pretty amazing. You can have a dead battery and it will jump start it. And I actually have to use this a lot for our CJ7 that is in the garage, where it'll sit too long and I'll have to jump start it. And versus getting jumper cables out, this is very easy to use. So we definitely bring this with us every time we go off-roading. This is just a gallon of water, and we normally bring with us 1 or 2.5 gallons of water, just in case you get somewhere and something happens. You've got water. And you know, I think a lot of this can be described as overkill, but I really love being prepared, where it, you know, if something happens totally unforeseen, you get out somewhere really cold and you can't get back, it's too far to walk and you've got to wait for help or whatever the situation is. We've got sleeping bags, we've got water, we'll bring food with us, so we're going to be okay. And I think it's better to be prepared and then not need it than be unprepared and find yourself short of what you need. Okay, I've only put these chains on one time, and we do have a video of that when we were off-roading going to Bodie Ghost Town. Which way? Crisscross? Just stick that in. Okay, it's got to go like to here. So, yeah, in there like that. And then down.
There you go.
There you go. Let's go push that down while I pull that up. Right here, go push that in.
Yeah.
More.
Almost. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo.
The other side.
All right. I'll go forward. Make it easier. And these are quick grip by Security, and they're chains, they're not cables, and they're incredibly heavy. When you go up to the mountains at Big Bear, technically, Vicki just took a slide down. When you go up to Big Bear, you are supposed to be carrying chains during the winter. And you'll probably never have to put the chains on because they'll probably completely close the roads. But what they do up here at Big Bear and Mammoth in California is they'll require four-wheel drive vehicles to carry chains. So when they're doing a roadblock and they're making sure that all the cars have chains on, if you're driving up in a four-wheel drive vehicle, they'll require that you show them that you have chains. And like I said, we've never encountered a situation where they make you put on chains on a four-wheel drive, because I think that it'll be to the extent at that point that they'll be closing down the road. So when we used them, we were off somewhere, where no one was at, trying to get to Bodie Town, where no vehicles were on the road, and we were already getting stuck without them, so we tried to put them on to see if that would help us. We do carry these with us every time that we're up in the mountains during the winter. All right, so when we're camping, we carry a lot more stuff than this. If you've watched any of our camping videos, that means this Jeep is full of stuff, including a tent that's like 8 feet long. We always carry this trunk with us, and we carry it with us when we're camping, and then it's full of camping gear, which we didn't have to bring up this weekend because we're not camping. But I still bring it because I carry stuff in it like a really good knife, a shovel, and flashlights, and just other miscellaneous gear. So it's a nice container to carry those different things with you. Well, these are the things that we bring when we go off-roading, and you may have some suggestions for things that we haven't thought of, and put those in the comments. We may not need a lot of these things, but it's nice to have them in case we do. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.